one by one as long as the West has business interests in any of the African countries. And now they have realized that actually the Africans are cowards. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Okello. Our next caller is Spectrum. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Your name?
My name is Owere.
You're welcome, Mr. Owere.
Yeah, actually, how is my friend there? You know, he was out of circulation. The former State House guy there.
What did you talk about, my
Rwomushana?
Go on. Mr. Owere.
Yes. First of all, you should know that the West is creating confusion in Libya. First of all, to get jobs for their allies. It happened in Iraq where they claimed Iraq had a weapon of mass destruction, which was not true. I'll give you a scenario which is now in Bahrain, where the West, Saudi Arabia, and other forces are behind the government forces to suppress the uprising there, which is contrary to what is happening in Libya. But then they went to Libya and now they are arming people who have been rebelling against the government. They even arm them. And now they are sending missiles. Imagine 100 missiles sending to a place. Are they now securing civilians or they are killing them also? So you should know that the West intentions in Africa or in where there is mineral is not actually policing or keeping peace, but to create confusion. And for Uganda, we should strengthen our democracy and ensure that we don't fall into kind of mistake, which is West is now trying to parade around.
All right, Mr. Owere, thank you very much. We'll take off. Next caller, Spectrum. Hello? Hello? Yes, please tell us your name, my friend. Hello?
Hello?
Your name?
My name is James Kashaya.
Mr. Kashaya, can you switch off your radio, please?
Yes, I want to thank you for this program. And I was listening attentively to your program. You see, what is happening now in Libya right now is what some analysts are calling the neo-colonialism. Do you know, listeners and people in the studio there, that why didn't the UN and the US, for instance, intervene in Ivory Coast? What happened when there was genocide in Rwanda? What happened in Somalia when US was chased away by Somalis? Why? Where is the African Union in all this? The disorganization of African leaders is as a result of this, what is happening in Libya. Time is now to denounce, become united, and fight this neocolonialism that is coming up. And I'm telling you, every African state is going to have this, especially a country where there is oil. This is an economic exploitation. This is a neocolonialism, and we must wake up and fight this.
All right, let's get back to the studio. Mr. Rwomushana, oil and other things. Talk to us about oil in the West and Africa.
They have huge industries, and when they look into the future, they realize they don't have enough oil to run their industries. Two, they have run out of resources, because the only resource they now have is technology. If you look at the Nokia phone, today how many phones are you going to carry? So every other minute they are improving on those phones, put in radios, put in a camera, and the market is getting saturated. So they must go where there are resources, and the resources are in Africa. And unfortunately we are not, and for them they have invested in military technology. They have invested.
That's very true.
Yeah, they have invested in technology.
$700 billion a year.
They have invested in the technology to kill.
Right.
And wherever, like in Japan, where you have knowledge, you have technology, they bombed them with an atomic bomb.
1945.
America bombed the Japanese and atomic bomb.
With atomic
so they can't be the same fellows fighting against an imaginary massacre. Because well,
but this is a two different time. I mean, you're talking about more than 50 years.
No, they are the same. This Obama, whom you claim has African blood, is as worse as those in. At least you would have rather dealt with the.
I think I need to correct just a small adjustment to the Japanese case.
Yes.
The Japanese case was once again a story that arose from the dynastic expansionism of the Akihitos.
Yes.
And when they were crushed, it was at that moment when they were crushed, when the Akihito dynasty was crushed, that a sense of democracy was installed in Japan.
But was there any justification for America to throw an atomic bomb?
There was no justification, but you must know that the Japanese were actually suicidal. They don't play. The small Japan had taken on Russia. The small Japan had taken on, I think, Germany. They had taken on 3 big superpowers and beaten. And America was actually in a state of fear. Yeah, but I'm not defending what they did. It was very wrong. But I am saying that, one, it may not be wise to personalize it to Obama. But two, it was again based on the same thing we've been discussing here that revolves around here. Dynastic expansionism.
Now, let's talk about... If a white man knew that heaven is a wonderful place where he would go after death, he would charge you to let you know. It wouldn't be for free. You didn't get to know. That's how they are. We are discussing the morality, really.
Yeah, true.
We are not discussing because we don't have force to stop them.
Yes.
The Libyans are going to be bombarded. They are being killed. They control the media. They will kill 1,000 and they say they have killed 2. Yes. We don't have much we can do. And they have killed us before. They have taken us as slaves. 300-400 years later, they will be apologizing. Fine. China has apologized.
All right.
What China asked for in this resolution was supply junk goods to Libya. But then they said provide your market.
Well, we had some concern from Christopher, let's honor some of our listeners some of the callers who called and said stability versus democracy. Christopher Mbazia said, and he sends his lecture at a high level, he says the West is more interested in stability rather than democracy.
That's not correct. Because by the time they invaded Iraq was stable.
Right.
Yeah.
But Iraq had invaded Kuwait.
But on the other hand, actually they had requested, they are the ones who requested Iraq to invade Kuwait. The only problem they had was that Britain stood its ground. But America was with Iraq when they did it.
Mr. Mayanja, Mr. Okello says the West don't have an exit strategy and they need Africa as a bloc. Is it true they need Africa as a bloc? So they should be sending money.
I don't know why he's asking himself that question, because he should really look at the reasons why they go in the first place.
Yes.
The reason they go in there is to control the resources in there. Right. So they cannot have
no ground forces, not a single pair of boots on Libyan soil.
Well, they know. They are saying that. They are saying that. But clandestinely, they are supporting the so-called rebels.
Well, they are openly supporting the rebels.
Yes. Why do you get rebels who in a week have a jet fighter?
I don't find their reasoning very, 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 very arousing.
Do you think they need Africa as a bloc? Does that make sense to you?
Well, I don't know whether they really need Africa as a bloc. They need Africa to be divided, be divided as it is, so that because they believe that when you divide, you can rule. So if they deal with Uganda, they will be able to deal with Sudan. If they deal with Kenya, they will be able to control Uganda. So they definitely would not like to see a united Africa.
There's strategic points they need from Africa.
All right.
And strategic places they need.
When there's oil, you're going to see them.
You will find entry points at ports and harbors.
Yes.
That's what makes Kenya special with Mombasa.
Right.
That's what makes South Africa special. That's what makes Egypt special with the Suez Canal. That's what makes Libya special. Egypt. And that's what makes Ghana.
Right.
Areas that have access to the sea and the ocean.
Right.
That is number one. Step 2 is where there are resources. I've always said that the position of Uganda within the Western eyes has transformed dramatically after the discovery of oil. It will never be the same again.
Right.
That is one. You would find places like Angola, where there was chaos for years.
Right.
And have had the president there for, I think, 30-something years. There has been no question of democracy in Angola. You will also hear of places like, for years, the Mobutu regime was propped up by the CIA.
In Afghanistan, they rigged elections.
Yes. So it's very strategic that there are two issues: access, 1, and 2, resources.
Now there is also another factor in this crisis. The son of Gaddafi mobilized a ship of goods for the Palestinians.
Yes.
Yes. And Gaddafi had become a loud critic against the Jews, against the that blockade against the Palestinians.
Right.
And I think he was so far the only remaining Arab leader.
I wanted to bring out this. How many members on the Security Council?
Well, let's
15.
look at... Okay,
Wait,
yes,
15.
Yes.
10 voted for and 5 abstained.
And they are now already
But do you know that everybody on that Security Council knew what may follow after that resolution?
Well, Germany has already started talking about
do you know that Russia, China had the powers to veto? But they did not.
Yes.
Do you know why?
Why did they not veto it? Tell us.
That's the international politics at play.
Right.
That, as Mr. Rwomushana has put it, the Arab world has enough money to buy any new good they want.
Right.
So
China cannot supply junk.
China cannot sell there.
Yeah. Right.
They knew that if you create a vacuum in Libya, then you are going to have access to the market in Libya.
Okay.
And, you know, this is purely international
Chinese shirt.
Mr. Were said...
Is this pen Chinese?
Well, you basically address Mr. Were's position that they need jobs, but you're also widening it to say they also need markets.
Yeah, they need the market. They want to control that market.
So how should we handle this? We have got oil right now, so...
What we need in Africa is strong leadership.
In Uganda, we discovered oil.
In Uganda, we have discovered oil, which we are not going to exploit.
Yes, what do you mean?
Because they are going to keep it in reserve.
What do you mean?
For them, they will help you discover and then put it part of their records for future exploitation. I don't see ourselves exploiting this oil.
What do you mean?
Like the way it is with Southern Sudan, they will always destabilize you.
Shall we just paid a large amount of money?
Yeah, just for purposes of knowing the records. Because in any case, do we have which economics do we have? The oil from Kuwait is cheaper.
They have the sweet crude.
Yeah, our technology is not that advanced.
Ours is very difficult to refine.
Yeah, it's not that advanced. So if you are to follow the market price, later will be at around 30,000.
True.
So you will keep it as reserves. They will know it and will pray with us until we are decimated. You look at the AIDS belt. Why don't they have AIDS? These fellows, by prostitution, began from their areas.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, you go and check. The AIDS belt is here.
I haven't checked that anyhow.
Yes, the
let's look at
is here.
Very, very briefly as we end this program. Mr. Ogot, let's have the final word. Where do we see ourselves 90 days from now?
In 90 days, one thing you can definitely tell is that the trend of chaos or the trend of instability that seems to be becoming a global phenomena is bound to impact more and more. It is moving from the north. You can tell that today the Ivory Coast is in a state of limbo. You can
actually, they are going for a civil war.
Yes, you can tell that Kenya is totally on the brink.
Neighboring countries to supply rebels.
Kenya is totally on the brink of an ethnic war based on the issues around the Hague.
Right.
Uganda seems to have a problem also in terms of clearing the electoral issues that have just
now a potato in Karelu market now is 4,000.
Yes, and those are some of the impacts.
I believe in miracles. I believe prices could go down tomorrow.
Sudan, on the other hand, also has its fair. Southern Sudan we've just created a new state in Southern Sudan, and there is also worries, as you read Professor Mondani today, that there may be serious internal conflict. Now, it's not looking good globally, or rather even in Africa, regionally.
Right.
There is a need for Africans to find African ways and create African resolutions to African problems.
That's a Pan-African speaking with very strong conviction. I have my own reservations, but that's not for
Edmond,
we have to end here. I must think of...
I wanted to say what I see in the next 90 days.
What do you see in the next 90 days?
I see chaos.
Yes.
And I see Gaddafi sticking in there.
Yes.
But I also see that one offers us some lessons.
Yes.
We should look at it.
What should we look at?
We should look at Libya as our cadaver. We are studying it, and we
as a case study.
As a case study.
Mr. Very briefly, 90 days from now, Gaddafi is still wearing this.
You will have instability in Chad because Syria Libya has been stabilizing Chad.
Let's look at Libya.
Libya has been stabilizing
90 days. Will Gaddafi be still in that place as leader?
God willing. They are going to have tsunamis. They are hitting them. They are going to have tsunamis and floods hitting them.
Thank you very much indeed, our guests, Mr. Gwadu, political analyst, Mr. Charles Rwomushana, and Mr. Vincent Mayanja. Thank you. I've been your host, Edmond. We'll be back tomorrow. Do stay tuned to Radio 1. Up next is the news in the English language.